As we age, our priorities shift, and the value we place on harmony and meaningful connections grows. By the time we reach our golden years, typically between 55 and 80, life often feels too precious to spend on relationships that drain our energy or disrupt our peace. It's not about cutting ties recklessly, but rather about making thoughtful choices to preserve emotional balance and tranquility. Neighbors and family, two central pillars of our daily interactions, can bring immense joy and a sense of belonging. However, they can also create stress or emotional burdens if the relationships are not supportive or harmonious. For older adults, protecting this delicate balance becomes essential for maintaining a serene and fulfilling life. Wisdom often comes with age, but so does a yearning for a quieter, more meaningful existence. Carefully curating your inner circle, choosing who to embrace and who to hold at arm's length, can be transformative. From neighbors whose behaviors disrupt the peace to relatives whose presence constantly drains positivity, setting boundaries is an act of self-care. If you're entering this stage of life, take this as an invitation to reflect on your relationships. Who adds to your joy? Who detracts from it? Your time is a valuable resource. Spend it with those who truly deserve it. Want more insights on navigating life with wisdom and grace? Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay inspired and informed. Part 1. 3 types of neighbors to avoid. As we journey through the later stages of life, our home evolves into more than just a dwelling. It becomes a sanctuary, a place where peace and comfort take precedence. After decades spent pursuing careers, raising families, and navigating the myriad challenges of life, the need for a safe, serene, and secure environment becomes paramount. Our homes become the heart of our well-being, where we seek rest and renewal away from the noise of the outside world. However, this tranquility is often shaped by the relationships we maintain within our neighborhoods, especially with those living nearby. While some neighbors enhance our lives with companionship, kindness, and support, others can unintentionally, or at times intentionally, introduce stress, disrupt routines, or cause conflicts that chip away at the peace we cherish. For older adults, particularly those aged 55 and beyond, safeguarding this sense of harmony is crucial for maintaining both emotional and mental well-being. Recognizing the dynamics of these relationships and learning how to manage challenging interactions becomes an essential part of preserving a peaceful home environment. In this guide, we'll delve into 3 common types of neighbors who might disrupt your sense of calm. Whether their actions stem from misunderstanding or indifference, their impact on your sanctuary can be significant. More importantly, we'll share practical strategies to address these situations with grace and wisdom, allowing you to reclaim your peace and protect the haven you've worked so hard to create. 1. The intrusive gossip. One type of neighbor you might want to approach with caution is the overly curious gossip, a person whose interest in the lives of others crosses the line from friendly curiosity into outright intrusion. This type of neighbor often appears charming at first, but their relentless probing into your personal affairs can quickly become unsettling. From asking about your family, finances, or health, to inquiring about your day-to-day habits, their questions often lack subtlety and respect for boundaries. The most troubling aspect is their tendency to share what they learn, or think they've learned, with others, often distorting facts or adding embellishments that fuel neighborhood gossip. This behavior can lead to misunderstandings, strained relationships, and even conflict, making it hard to maintain a sense of privacy and harmony within your community. Privacy is an invaluable asset, especially as you strive to create a safe, peaceful haven for yourself. However, an intrusive gossip can shatter this tranquility, leaving you feeling as though even the simplest aspects of your life are constantly being observed. These neighbors may casually linger near your yard, drop by unannounced under the guise of friendliness, or ask seemingly innocent questions that, in reality, are calculated efforts to gather personal details. They might even comment on your visitors, make subtle remarks about the changes you've made to your property, or speculate openly about your family activities. Over time, this behavior can erode your sense of security, as any information you share, even inadvertently, could soon become fodder for neighborhood chatter. Dealing with such a neighbor requires a thoughtful approach that balances cordiality with firm boundary setting. Start by reassessing the topics you discuss with them, steering conversations toward neutral, non-personal subjects like the weather, local events, or community updates. If they persist in pressing for more private details, respond with vague, non-committal answers, or skillfully change the subject. It's equally important to establish physical boundaries. If they tend to visit without warning, don't hesitate to let them know, politely but firmly, that you value your privacy and prefer scheduled visits. By maintaining a warm yet assertive demeanor, you can convey that your personal life is off limits for discussion. Ultimately, managing a gossip-prone neighbor doesn't mean shutting them out entirely. Instead, it's about setting clear boundaries and deciding how much of your life you're comfortable sharing. With time, they may realize that their curiosity won't be satisfied and will likely shift their focus elsewhere. Remember, protecting your peace of mind is not selfish. It's essential. By prioritizing your privacy and maintaining respectful relationships, you can foster a healthier and more comfortable environment for yourself and those around you. 2. The self-serving neighbor. Another type of neighbor to approach with caution is the self-serving individual, a person who often views relationships as a means to fulfill their own needs. At first glance, they might seem genuinely warm and friendly, creating the impression of someone who values connection and camaraderie. However, over time, their true motivations often become apparent. Their friendliness tends to be conditional, rooted more in what you can provide for them, rather than a genuine desire for mutual support. These neighbors are often quick to request favors, watering their plants, collecting their mail, or even keeping an eye on their home, yet rarely offer anything in return. While their requests might seem harmless initially, they can escalate, leaving you feeling unappreciated, exploited, or even manipulated. This dynamic can take a toll on your well-being, as the constant one-sided giving drains your energy and emotions. Acts of kindness, which are usually fulfilling and rewarding, can start to feel burdensome when there's little reciprocity. You might find yourself going out of your way to accommodate their needs, only to notice that they seldom make an effort to do the same for you. This lack of balance can breed frustration and resentment, especially if you hold fairness and mutual respect in high regard. For older adults, or those managing their own busy lives, the additional strain of constantly meeting the needs of a self-serving neighbor can be particularly exhausting, both physically and emotionally. To navigate such a relationship, it's essential to embrace a philosophy of fairness and assertiveness. Setting boundaries is key to maintaining your sense of balance and protecting your energy. If you notice that their interactions with you revolve solely around their needs, take a step back and assess how often you accommodate them. Politely but firmly decline when their requests become too frequent, unreasonable, or intrusive. You're under no obligation to provide detailed explanations for your refusal. A simple response like, "I'm not able to help this time," is perfectly acceptable. Alternatively, you could suggest solutions that don't directly involve your time or effort, such as recommending professional services or other resources they could turn to. By establishing these boundaries, you send a clear message that your kindness is not a resource to be taken for granted. Over time, the self-serving neighbor may come to realize that you're not an automatic yes to their every request. This might prompt them to reevaluate their behavior, either by becoming more considerate and reciprocal, or by seeking help elsewhere. Remember, prioritizing your own needs doesn't make you unkind. It's a vital step in ensuring that your relationships remain respectful, balanced, and mutually supportive. Protecting your energy allows you to invest in the connections that truly matter, fostering a sense of community that's built on trust and genuine care rather than obligation. 3. The disruptive neighbor. The third type of neighbor to be cautious of is the disruptive neighbor, whose actions or lifestyle can have a profound impact on the peace and harmony of the entire community. This individual might host raucous late-night parties, blast loud music at all hours, or neglect the upkeep of their property, creating an eyesore that affects the shared aesthetics of the neighborhood. In some cases, their disruptive behavior extends to communal areas, leaving trash behind, blocking driveways, or engaging in activities that compromise safety. While these actions may not always be intentional, their impact is far-reaching, creating tension, frustration, and even resentment among neighbors. The lack of consideration for the community's shared spaces and values often undermines the sense of harmony that is vital for a thriving neighborhood. The consequences of living near a disruptive neighbor go beyond mere annoyance. They can significantly affect your overall well-being. Noise, disorder, and frequent disturbances can lead to increased stress levels, disrupted sleep, and a diminished sense of security in your own home. Imagine trying to unwind with a good book or enjoy a peaceful evening, only to be interrupted by blaring music or a cluttered communal space. Over time, these interruptions can chip away at your ability to relax, turning your once serene sanctuary into a source of anxiety and discomfort. For older adults, or anyone who values tranquility, such disturbances can be particularly disheartening, leading to feelings of helplessness or even resentment. Addressing issues with a disruptive neighbor requires diplomacy and careful planning to avoid escalating tensions. A good starting point is to have an honest, calm conversation, focusing on how their actions affect the community rather than criticizing them personally. For instance, you might say, "I've noticed that the music at night sometimes makes it hard for me to sleep," or, "The communal areas are shared spaces, and it would be great if we could all keep them tidy." Often neighbors are unaware of how their action impact others and may be willing to adjust their behavior once the problem is brought to their attention. If direct communication doesn't yield results, consider involving a neutral third party, such as a neighborhood association, property manager, or local mediator. These entities can provide structured solutions and help navigate conflict resolution in a way that preserves relationships. When external efforts fail or the behavior persists, it's essential to take steps to protect your own well-being. Small adjustments like soundproofing windows, creating a tranquil retreat indoors, or planning outings to escape the noise can help restore your sense of peace and control. At its core, Preserving harmony in a community often hinges on maintaining a delicate balance between connection and boundaries. While building friendly relationships with neighbors can enrich your life, it's equally important to protect your energy and peace of mind. By recognizing and managing the behaviors of disruptive neighbors, or even opting for respectful distance when necessary, you safeguard your home as a sanctuary of comfort and security. As the saying goes, good fences make good neighbors. This adage underscores the importance of setting clear boundaries to maintain mutual respect and balance in relationships. Whether you're dealing with the intrusive gossip, the self-serving neighbor, or the disruptive presence, the key lies in fostering an environment that nurtures peace, independence, and well-being. Ultimately, your home should be a place of warmth and tranquility, untainted by unnecessary stress, a refuge that truly reflects the life you wish to cultivate. Part 2. 3 types of relatives. To keep your distance from. Family relationships often hold a unique significance in our lives, shaping our values, providing a sense of belonging, and creating memories that stay with us forever. Yet not all family ties bring the comfort and connection we might hope for. Sometimes the very bonds that should offer support and love can instead become sources of stress, conflict, or emotional exhaustion. Certain relatives, despite the shared history and deep connections, may disrupt our peace, place undue burdens on our time or resources, or leave us feeling drained rather than uplifted. As we age, fostering a healthy and harmonious family environment becomes increasingly important. This stage of life often calls for reflection, an opportunity to evaluate which relationships bring joy, growth, and support, and which might require reevaluation for the sake of preserving personal well-being. While letting go or creating distance in family relationships can be challenging, it is an act of self-care that ensures we prioritize our emotional and mental health. Understanding how to navigate these complex dynamics with respect and clarity is crucial. It's not about severing ties, but about setting boundaries that allow for healthier interactions. Recognizing the need for distance doesn't diminish the importance of family. Instead, it highlights the value of nurturing the relationships that truly enhance our lives. Here are 3 types of relatives who might require a thoughtful approach, along with strategies to engage with them in ways that honor both your peace and self-respect. By adopting a balanced perspective, you can maintain connections where they matter most while protecting the sanctuary of your own well-being. After all, family should be a source of strength and joy, not a drain on your energy or peace of mind. 1. The borrower who doesn't repay. Financial interactions within families are often fraught with complexity, blending trust, love, and a sense of obligation. While the family bond can inspire generosity and support, it can also be exploited by certain relatives who borrow money without genuine intentions to repay or fail to express gratitude for the help they receive. These individuals may lean on familial ties as justification for leniency, assuming that the nature of the relationship protects them from accountability. For many, especially older adults managing fixed incomes or savings, such dynamics can lead to significant stress and financial strain, undermining both trust and stability. The impact of such behaviors extends beyond finances, striking at the very foundation of trust within family relationships. When a relative dismisses debts or offers repeated excuses for failing to repay, it can leave you feeling betrayed or taken advantage of, The emotional toll is often just as severe as the financial one, fostering resentment and causing you to question the sincerity of the bond. For those in retirement or carefully budgeting their resources, even small unpaid loans can have an outsized impact on peace of mind and long-term security. Establishing clear financial boundaries is essential to protect not only your financial health, but also the integrity of your relationships. While setting such boundaries may feel uncomfortable, it is a necessary act of self-respect and foresight. Before lending money to a family member, it's important to consider their past behavior. Do they have a track record of honoring their commitments? Or is this a recurring pattern? Thoughtful reflection on these questions can guide your decision and help you avoid unnecessary conflict. If you decide to lend money, treating it as a formal agreement rather than a casual favor can help mitigate misunderstandings. Establish clear terms, including repayment schedules, and communicate these expectations openly. However, financial support doesn't always have to involve direct loans. Consider alternative ways to help, such as offering guidance on budgeting, directing them to community resources, or assisting them in finding long-term solutions to their challenges. These approaches can empower your relative while safeguarding your own financial stability. Remember, declining to lend money doesn't mean you care any less. On the contrary, it shows that you value the health of the relationship enough to avoid entangling it in financial complications. Protecting your finances is not just about dollars and cents. It's about preserving your peace, security, and the genuine connections that matter most. Prioritizing clear boundaries and thoughtful decisions ensures that family relationships remain a source of strength rather than strain. 2. The self-absorbed relative. Some family members seem to perceive their relatives not as partners in mutual care and support, but as an audience or a resource to fulfill their own personal needs and ambitions. These self-absorbed individuals tend to be consumed with their own concerns, seeking constant validation, assistance, and attention without offering the same in return. Conversations with them often revolve around their challenges, complaints, or aspirations, leaving little room for others to share their own experiences, thoughts, or needs. For older adults, who typically desire relationships based on mutual respect and understanding, these interactions can become increasingly frustrating and emotionally draining. The emotional impact of these relationships can be profound. Over time, being a consistent source of support for someone who is unwilling to reciprocate can leave you feeling depleted rather than replenished. Interaction with a self-centered relative often become one-sided, where your needs, emotions, and boundaries are overlooked in favor of their unending demands. This imbalance can feel invasive, particularly for those who value their peace and emotional well-being. The constant position of giving without receiving can take a toll on your mental health, creating feelings of frustration and resentment. In managing these types of relationships, the principle of self-respect is crucial. Healthy family dynamics are built on reciprocity, understanding, and mutual care. When you find yourself emotionally drained, it's essential to establish boundaries, limits on your availability to listen, offer help, or provide support. Setting these boundaries doesn't mean cutting ties, but rather ensuring that the relationship remains balanced and that your needs are also honored. A direct yet compassionate conversation about their behavior might be enough to make them realize the importance of giving as much as they take. However, if the self-absorbed relative remains indifferent to your needs or unwilling to adjust their approach, it might be time to reassess the level of interaction. Distance in this case isn't an act of rejection, but rather a choice to prioritize your own mental and emotional health. By focusing on relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, consideration, and support, you create space for connections that bring positivity and balance into your life. In doing so, you protect your peace of mind and ensure that your energy is invested in interactions that are fulfilling and nourishing, making every conversation and connection truly worthwhile. 3. The lazy, independent relative. Families often come together to support one another through challenging times, but not all family dynamics are supportive or healthy. There are relatives who, instead of striving for independence, rely on others indefinitely. These individuals may lack the drive or motivation to improve their circumstances, whether it's securing employment, managing finances, or handling personal issues. They tend to lean heavily on more stable family members, sometimes taking advantage of their willingness to help. While their needs may appear genuine, this dependency can quickly become habitual and, over time, a burden on those who are compassionate and eager to assist. The impact on both your resources and your peace of mind can be significant. Continuously providing financial assistance, covering expenses, or even letting a dependent relative live with you can erode your comfort and financial security. What may start as a kind gesture can turn into a long-term arrangement that creates resentment, especially if the dependent relative shows no intention of changing. For older adults who have planned for a quieter, more secure lifestyle, these unanticipated demands can disrupt plans and cause unnecessary stress. Philosophy of empowerment and healthy boundaries. One of the most empowering gifts you can offer a dependent relative is the encouragement to become self-reliant. While it may feel compassionate to provide ongoing support, this dependency can prevent them from reaching their potential. By setting clear and firm boundaries, you can foster their growth while protecting your own resources and well-being. When interacting with a lazy or dependent relative, it's important to be clear about your limitations and the support you're willing to offer. Consider offering resources that could help them become more independent, such as job leads, financial advice, or guidance in finding community programs. Make it clear that your support is temporary and that they must take proactive steps towards self-sufficiency. This approach helps them build confidence and move toward independence, while also preserving your emotional and financial health. Embracing distance for healthier family dynamics. Maintaining harmony in family relationships doesn't always require constant closeness. Sometimes emotional and physical distance is necessary to protect your own well-being. By carefully selecting which family members you allow into your inner circle, you ensure that the relationships you cultivate are supportive, balanced, and enriching. When relationships feel draining, unbalanced, or even toxic, it's not just acceptable but wise to create some distance. The principles of self-respect, healthy boundaries, and personal peace guide these choices, allowing you to foster a family environment that honors and uplifts the unique needs of each individual. By prioritizing your own well-being, you not only create space for healthy connections, but also set a powerful example for others about the importance of nurturing relationships that contribute positively to a life well lived. Final thoughts. Protecting your peace with mindful boundaries. As we age, it becomes increasingly important to prioritize our mental and emotional well-being. While we cannot control the actions or personalities of those around us, we can take proactive steps to protect our peace and create a fulfilling life within our community. Here are a few strategies to help you gracefully manage interactions with challenging neighbors. 1. Set clear boundaries. Early, establishing boundaries at the outset is key to managing difficult neighbors. Be friendly, but avoid oversharing personal information, especially with neighbors who seem overly curious or intrusive. Simple deflections, like, "I prefer to keep that private," can maintain your privacy without alienating others. 2. Practice selective engagement. For neighbors who frequently ask for favors or seek to benefit from your kindness, selective engagement is crucial. Only say yes when you genuinely want to, and feel free to politely decline when you're not comfortable. For example, you could say, "I'm not able to help with that right now." This preserves your energy and sets healthy limits. 3. Address disruptive behavior calmly. If disruptive behavior arises, such as noise or other disturbances, address the issue calmly. A friendly, non-confrontational conversation about how their actions impact the neighborhood can lead to a more positive outcome. If the issue persists, consider involving a neighborhood association or community resources to address the situation. 4. Create personal sanctuary spaces. Some neighbors may not change, so it's important to create sanctuary spaces within your home. Soundproofing, creating quiet zones, or investing in noise-canceling devices can help shield you from disturbances, giving you control over your environment and allowing you to enjoy your space peacefully. 5. Embrace the power of distance. Sometimes, maintaining a respectful distance is the healthiest approach. Not every neighbor needs to be a close friend, and a cordial greeting is often enough. By keeping a comfortable distance, you protect your peace and ensure that interactions remain positive and light-hearted. In conclusion, living in harmony with neighbors is both an art and a practice, especially as we enter later stages of life where peace, tranquility, and emotional well-being take precedence. By embracing selective engagement, setting boundaries, and creating sanctuary spaces within your home, you can maintain balance and ensure a fulfilling life. Ultimately, it's about shaping your environment thoughtfully, honoring your needs, and fostering relationships that contribute positively to your life. Each interaction is an opportunity to reinforce your values, prioritize your comfort, and build a supportive community. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other in this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1, and if not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.